The Thinking Man. It's my Halloween skull. It's real too. It's the old philosophy. I saw a picture, actually archaic. It was on your video, of a monkey holding a man's skull and contemplating it. I thought that was epic. That was an awesome picture. I just never seen that one before. It, today's subject matter is progress. And I allow the subject matter to come to me through the ether. It's whatever the world decides to bring to me. Sometimes I put my philosophy lectures on random and I'll just listen. Sometimes I'll just grab a random book and flip to a page. Lately I've been having a lot of synchronicities. I've picked up on a lot of cues that have said that I'm in the right place at the right time. I've had multiple deja vus, a lot of synchronicities, and many of the ideas that I've held in the past have finally started to come together and make sense in a way that I can understand them. And as a philosopher, that's really all I'm trying to do, is understand my world. And we need more philosophers. We need more people who are thinking about why the universe operates the way that it does, yet remaining detached from the stigmas or dogmas of existing systems, but at the same time being able to use those existing systems to draw off of, you see. Now, some people talk about progress. What is progress of society? And today I decided that that would be a good subject for this video, because progress is defined in my eyes as progress is moving further towards security and safety for the citizens. Well, my camera ran out of memory there, so I had to erase a few videos and start over, so I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. That's why my videos are edited together, because the camera I'm using now only goes 10 minutes, blah blah. Anyway, the idea that I was trying to convey was about progress and what we consider to be progress. And progress can be defined, I don't know if I got to this in the first part, progress is defined by, in my opinion, by the security of a nation, security of a world. So by observing natural order around me and looking at the way that people react to other nations, other cultures, the xenophobia, religious dogma, all these different sides and battles that we have where we're not coming together, I see that progress is completely lacking in this society. And I think that the only real, how do I say this? The only real defining factor to, not usually at a loss for words, but it's good to think things through, I guess. We look at the cultures, we look at what we consider progress. Much of the progress that's been made has been made towards good things. People have discovered and created many great things and done it just for humanity. Many people have done wonderful things to help their world and to help their fellow man. Religious and non-religious. Just people doing good things. But when we look at history and ask who were the good people in history, who are the people that are really remembered, and who are the people that were really revered, they're almost always the thinkers. And I'm not going as far as to say that everyone should be a thinker or that non-thinkers can't do great things. It's that the thinkers of history have put the time in and put the dedication into learning various mysteries about life so they can apply that and see a wider, broader scope of things, and see the way that things really are, not the way we want them to be. We create all sorts of walls and illusions, all these constructs to keep us separate. And it's sad because life to me is about growth, 100%. It's about growing as a person. And if we're not growing, we're not progressing. So if we're stuck in a particular way of thinking and we refuse to leave that way, when the evidence is presented, and this is the key, is that the evidence that's presented has to be based, at least at this point, on the scientific method, because it's the best we have. So the question is, can science show that ethics are a universal quality? And I heard Manly Hall pose this question. He said, once a scientist actually applies a scientific formula and tests it against history, and the wars of history, all the horrific things and the good things that have happened, and applies a formula to say, are ethics a law, a natural law, a phenomenon? I think that they would come to the conclusion of yes. So by observing which cultures have been more successful than others, it's often based on a strong dedication to God, and I'm not going to deny that. And this is where I think I have disagreements with many theologians. People assume that since I do not believe that the Bible is infallible or the only Word of God, then all of a sudden that I don't believe in God. Even so far as, like, earlier, a guy told me that eventually your family will die, you'll die, and you'll have to deal with it, and you'll bury them, and no matter how happy you are now, you will suffer later. You will be miserable later. And that brought up the whole hell concept and the idea of that we've created something out of natural law, which is hell. Hell can be here on earth. My thought is, yes, my family is going to die. Everything's going to die. I'm going to lose everything. My house could burn down tomorrow. I could become quadriplegic. But I'm mentally prepared for that because of my philosophy, because I've learned that you have to accept things the way they come. Now, I may appear from the outside to be someone who has no problems. I have all kinds of problems, but I've learned to cope with them. I don't let them get to me. And I most of all don't fear anything in the future. It's useless to fear the future, but we do, and that's why we create things now. These inventions, things that we think will pacify our minds so we don't have to actually dwell on where we're going or what we're doing here. So religion's not the problem, it's theology and pressing itself upon other people, and often that hinders progress. I think it's probably set us back hundreds of years possibly by suppressing. I mean, look at what the church did to the telescope and how many things they've suppressed because it went against what they have been told for so long, and yet we're still grasping onto these old ideas. The whole thing is that each Bible, each book was given to each culture as a way for them to understand the greater good, but they can't seem to reconcile their differences. So remaining completely separate from that is the best method for me, because I refuse to join any type of a group that poses itself as the one truth, because then you know that it's definitely one lie. And that's the way I see it. So people will try to impress their negative emotions and their thoughts that a person cannot possibly be happy without believing what they believe, but that's what's hindering progress. We need to stop the division, drop the walls, and stop the bullshit and the undertones of hatred and passive aggressiveness that people have towards one another. I'm working on it in myself. I was a very defensive person in my past, and I'm learning to overcome that. And through my studies, I've been able to do it more successfully. And every year I become happier, life becomes grander, and I accept more and more things as they come to me, because that's really all life's about, is acceptance and growth. And if we ain't growing, we don't know where we're going. So progress is defined by security, the security of a population. And I don't see many around me who feel very secure. So how do we progress? Learning more about ourselves and our world through philosophy. So that's what I got. Take care, everybody.